and the New York Football Giants. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This crowd a few minutes ago stirred into action at the side of their men in blue emerging from the MetLife tunnels. We're set to go as the Giants get ready to match up with the Dallas Cowboys. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
And down it goes just shy of the 25. Now, penalty marker is down. Let's see what that's about. Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here, losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
On 1st and 10, here's Manning. And his first look is incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. Open man right side is Ingram. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 40. Here's Prescott. He's got the connection to Cole Beasley. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 24 yards. Defensively, they just lost him. He was waving his arms saying, I'm wide open. They found him.
Yeah, and it's so interesting about when a receiver starts to wave his arms because some guys, right off the line of scrimmage, they declare themselves open. You know, those guys throw the one arm up, hit me right now. In this case, he was so wide open that he was frantically trying to get his attention to make sure he got the football. And then I'm sure his only thought when the ball was in the air, don't drop it. Had too much time to think.
Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Throwing again, Prescott on 2nd and 10. And this is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Ezekiel Elliott, and it's 3rd down. A look at the starters down the defensive side of the ball for the Giants. Against the pass, they're hoping to trend in the opposite direction because right now they're ranked number 26 in the NFL.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
46.
On third down, it's Prescott. Steps away to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And this is caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
And again, it's Prescott. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
And that's incomplete. The secondary, Charles, much maligned during the week. They didn't have their best game in the loss last week, but a nice play there.
Yeah, and I just know what they went through last week. I mean, ever since that time, their pride was hurt. They kept getting reminded of it in the local media, had to watch it on tape, and, you know, the coaches just got after him. They came in right.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Allen Hurns, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. The point after is good, and that makes the score 7-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. On 3rd down, Manning. He's going to wind up and air it out. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one goes for 36 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They run here with Stewart, and he'll be taken down at the 34. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Manning to throw on 2nd down. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he gets it down to the 32. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
To throw on third down. Manning. And Ingram holds it in. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And Ingram's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Evan Ingram, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game.
If you're looking for a candidate to make that leap in his second year, Brandon, I nominate Evan Ingram.
6 touchdowns last year as a rookie.
Yeah, and he's so smooth with his routes and such a weapon, not just in the red zone, but anywhere on the field. I've had defensive coordinators tell me they treat him like a wide receiver when they try to defend.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters. Because
when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
And New York set to take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a 1st down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. On play action, it's Manning. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
The goal of anyone running a curl route is to make sure you try and get defenders on your back and shield them away from the football. But sometimes even when you run a good route, the defense finds a way to knock it away.
They'll try and run it. Here's Stewart. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to take another shot here. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Going up top. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Shepard. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. Manning now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. He has already cracked the century mark in receiving in this opening quarter. On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming into the game, and now that he's really come out of the gate this strongly,
offense.
I'd like to be in the huddle with him right now. You know he's demanding the football.
The ball.
And guess what? I throw it to him. He's having a fantastic game, and they haven't defended him yet.
The full start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. From midfield, here's Manning. He hits Stewart in the flat. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with a football here as we begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Back to the ground now with Stewart. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with 3rd down coming up.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Throw left side is taken in by Stewart. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Olivier Vernon brings him down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Prescott to throw it. Flush to his right. Drops it underneath to Elliott. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Prescott yet again. Buying time to his left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. That's complete right around the 8. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Dalton Schultz with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Cowboys are in for 6.
I don't know who exactly made the call. Was it the special teams coach? But it had to be okayed by the head coach. Gutsy call. Fake field goal that results in a touchdown. A terrific play.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And the lead is now 14-10. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now trotting back out with the rest of his offensive mates. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. On play action. Now Manning. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. The 40. He's at the 30. 10 for touchdown. Giants. Evan Ingram with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Defense.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the lead is now 2. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now here come the Cowboys. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs, but the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A dump off to Elliott, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And New York set to take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Manning now on 1st down. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Manning, throw left side complete. That's Stewart. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield.
And this is going to be intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Rolling to his left. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. On the left side, he finds Beasley. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
46.
A first down throw for Prescott. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. So after the INT, it's Manning. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Shepard. A gain of 6 there on first.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
On second down, here's Manning. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. On 1st and 10, here's Manning. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Manning now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Again, they'll throw with Manning. A dump off here to Stewart. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. Manning going to come up on 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. One final try now for Manning. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll begin with 2 teams who don't really like each other all that much, as Oakland heads out to take on Kansas City. And it's the Chiefs who have the lead in that one. The Chiefs locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. game has been the play of Eli Manning. That's been the story so far. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Around the NFL, second quarter down in Tampa. And it's the NFC champs, the Falcons, that have moved down to an early advantage. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Prescott on first down. He's going to go deep for Funchess. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So a little extra on top of the big play there.
It's tough for guys rushing the passer, but you have to know when the ball is gone. And if you listen, officials will tell you ball's gone. He didn't pull up.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Now Prescott. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Janoris Jenkins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
Now a 10th carry for Jonathan Stewart. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. And that is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. On 2nd down, Elliott. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Eli Apple up from his corner spot to make the play.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Rolling to his right. And he's got it to Hearns. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and pick picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Prescott now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Prescott. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
It really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And there's a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
46.
Prescott on 3rd and goal. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Allen Hurns with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Now Manning. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Prescott now on 2nd down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Prescott on 3rd and 2. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack, but he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny? When we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The New York set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Take this up just shy of the 40. Excellent display of footwork on that run. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
His throw incomplete. Evan Ingram was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. Manning looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Here's Austin. Here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the 4th quarter. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. A first down carry by Elliott. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The safety Landon Collins there to make the tackle.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball?
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and that leads to a play-action sack. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And out will come the offense as they take over. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing now is Manning. And his throw is incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand in coverage.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
To Shepard, complete over the middle. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here's Riley Dixon now. He's been terrific so far. Now Austin. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And out now come the Cowboys. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They go play action here on 1st down, eluding the pressure right. Airing it out for Hearns. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times. Tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone, but sometimes the guy who's getting the ball takes the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
It's a big play there on 3rd down. 41 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. And he's into the clear. Past the 20. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown. 3rd down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light there. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. On third down, it's Prescott. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. They'll take it on this side of midfield. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and the Giants will begin this drive in good shape, 1st and 10. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a play fake here on first down. And it's incomplete. Red Allison, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
He's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now Manning. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Chidobe Awuzie there to make the play in coverage.
Well, so many times defensive backs get caught playing the man rather than the football, but not in this case. That's an excellent play. Did exactly what you're supposed to do. Attack the football and help break up the pass.
Yep, as a result, knocks it down. And incomplete here on third down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Dancing to his left. He's going to go deep for, and that's caught inside the 35. And he makes it all the way down to the 31.
Holding offense.
So they were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Now Prescott. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Kareem Martin in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. Now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's falling off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at a quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, well, man, what do you need? What's going on here? So he's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
Offense.
Umpire through the flag usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Now Manning, over the middle, complete. It's Shepard. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him 14 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. To throw is Manning. And this is going to be incomplete. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Well, that's a good first step, but several steps still to go.
They still have time for the possible game-winning field goal. Time for them to be quick and hurry at the same.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by David Anderson. And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected?
Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well, so now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right, because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic, but downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well, because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. The give is to Elliott. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And some room to run now. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. Prescott to throw. They'll roll him out right. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a 1st down.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Here's Prescott. On the move to his left. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. New York set to take the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. From the gun, it's Manning. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
Sean Lee, the Pro Bowler, there for the tackle.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. Once that ball was popped in the air, you could almost hear the silence, the collective breath being held here in the stadium.
Let's be honest about it. We both came out of our chairs, didn't we? All right, anytime you see the ball in the air like that, there is that collective rise, the crowd holding its breath, and boy, oh boy, the moment of truth as it comes down. Man, that was something.
Everything magnified here in overtime. The defense does its job. Now they're going to get the ball here in overtime with a chance to win it.
Major league kudos to them, because to get the ball back in this spot, everything was on them. It had to happen, and they pulled it off. They'll get it back for their offense with a chance to win.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done, now part 2.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Fielded just inside the 20. Nifty move. Oh, he's taken down here by his face mask by the looks of it. And a penalty flag is going to give a much better starting position.
Face mask. Defense.
In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. Manning. Over the middle to Beckham. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, if you want to be known as dependable to your quarterback, that's what you have to do. Go into the middle of the field, know the hit is coming, and catch the football. And that's exactly what he just got done.
And defensively, a little deflating to be able to lay that hit and not have the ball pop free, right?
No doubt about it, because your goal defensively, knock it free so that they say, okay, guess what? We're not going to throw it in there anymore. Now, they'll still continue to be aggressive.
2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go back to Stewart on first. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Manning going to try and throw on 3rd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. His first catch, and it's a big one in overtime. It's a 1st down. He did not have a catch till that moment. Pretty good time for his first one, though, here in OT.
I would agree with that. And just think about how they had to cycle through all the play sheets, right? Tried to find ways to get a lot of people the football. In this case, as you said, he hadn't had a catch all game. Now they find him in a key moment. Really well done.
And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance that field goes from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So for the Giants, the win form is number 6 on the year. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, this loss will be the capper to a dismal 4-12 campaign. And with some high picks coming in this spring's draft, it's a team for whom a roster overhaul may be on the way. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.